and welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
I'm Goose.
And I'm D.A.R.R.E.N.
Today on the show, a game with a spectacular take on both puzzling and platforming, the very colourful Hue.
Plus, we'll test our twin stick reflexes in the action mayhem of Rive.
Pew pew!
Pew pew indeed, D.A.R.R.E.N.
Oh, I always feel a warm, fuzzy glow deep in my plutonium core when we have a good robot and lasers game on the show.
Yes, you do have a bit of a green glow about yourself and your abs today, D.A.R.R.E.N.
Oh, thank you. Now, are you ready for some trivia? Because it's time for a D.A.R.R.E.N's Challenge! Today, I'm asking you this. In the very first Paper Mario game, how many star spirits has Bowser imprisoned? Answer at the end of the show.
Oh, that's a good question, Darren. But now it's time for gaming picks, so whose turn is it this week?
Guys, I think you've had your fun. It's time for a classic Goose gaming picks.
Oh, classic Goose.
Yeah. Go. All right, back to normal gaming picks this week, and here they are. First up, horror writer Max Brooks has been tasked with writing the first Minecraft novel. Mojang announced the author would be writing Minecraft The Island, which will be about a stranded hero learning to survive in an unfamiliar land. No release window was announced for the book, however, it will apparently be the first in a series of novels. Frankly, I'm just amazed it's taken them this long to get around to it. Next up, a modder by the name of Space Chase Zero has managed to add multiplayer to popular farming sim Stardew Valley. While the game will be receiving an official multiplayer mode at some point in the future, Space Chase Zero has jumped the gun and got it working already. It's not without bugs and quirks though. For example, you'll both have to share the same wallet and relationship progress. So you better hope your friend doesn't go spending all your gold on gifts for someone you don't even like. And finally, filmmakers at Corridor Digital have used their 360-degree video cameras to create a real-life take on Super Mario Galaxy. Let's take a look. And that's it for this week. Remember, if you've created anything game-related that you think could be one of Goose's gaming picks, then you can send it in here. Back to the studio for the last time.
Thanks, Goose.
Yeah, nice work. But now it's time to review Rive.
Pew pew! In Rive, you are a tough-talking, hard-as-nails scrapper, looking for loot in all the wrong places. Only moments into your scavenge, you find yourself at the mercy of a psychotic robot who uses you to test out a variety of deadly security devices. Your primary objective soon changes from salvaging to escaping as you shoot your way out and hack into robots to turn them into useful allies.
This is a really fast twin-stick shooter platformer.
Do you like those serrated edges, slicing you to smithereens?
I don't feel it yet.
With a good sense of humour, varied gameplay, and enemies that just keep on coming.
Yeah, and those enemies are as deadly as ants. One-on-one they're okay, but when they swarm...
That's why I always advise on keeping a good laser on standby, Goose.
Yes, there are some great weapons in Rive. And you really have to keep moving fast. Dodging and shooting like crazy, it's hectic. I really appreciated being able to hack those other bots to get a helping hand.
The campaign, which lasts about 6 hours, kept me playing right until the end. Despite the difficulty, I just didn't want to give up. And there were parts where it was extremely difficult. I died so many times. Many, many, many times.
Affirmative. But fortunately, when you die, you never have to start too far back from where you were, thanks to a very generous checkpoint system. So it isn't as painful as some games can be.
Except when you die in a section that begins with a line of dialogue, because then when you respawn, you have to listen to that dialogue again and again.
How much more of this do I have to resist? How much more of this do I have to resist? How much more of this do I have to resist?
Oh, and it just goes on like that.
Rive is not a very long game, but once you finish the campaign, you'll unlock the single credit and speedrun modes, which are an even greater challenge, and that adds some pretty good longevity to the game.
Rive is also full of pop culture references, which I just love.
This is bad country.
At one point, you're dodging Tetris blocks, and the relationship between the robots even had me thinking of Portal at times.
I am the service-oriented AI module driving this place.
Another AI butt cliche.
Explosions, lasers, robots. What's not to like?
Well, this is a game that evokes nostalgia for classic old arcade games, but it's also just really fun in its own right. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Yeah, aside from that difficulty, because it is really tough, I had a lot of fun here as well, so I'm giving it 4.
All right then, it's time for the final retro replay of this season with me. Oh, and Bajo. Roll the tape, Lee.
We don't have to hear the theme again, though, do we?
We absolutely do.
Oh dear.
Do you want to know why we're rapping in rhyme?
Cause we're about to look way back in time.
To check out games from yesterday?
They may be old, but they're fun to play.
We got the facts that you need to know.
Of the radical world of gaming retro.
Charging my laser.
That's my thing.
The 90s rocked.
They also rolled.
And so did rock and roll racing.
Rock and Roll Racing came out in 1993.
The stage is set. The green flag drops.
Races were in an isometric or top-down view and took place over a variety of tracks full of obstacles.
And they were bumpy tracks too. There were so many ridges and troughs to navigate, kind of like today's Trials games. But the real strategy was staying ahead of the pack and trying to destroy your opponents with weapons.
Ivan should avoid mines.
Boosts, missiles, mines. It was chaos out on the tracks, and all to classic rock and roll hits.
Last lap.
It's where I discovered rock and roll, Darren. I also loved the commentators' announcements. It was a real feature.
Last lap.
It was reactive to what was actually happening on the track. So you'd always know if your rivals were about to blow.
Ivan is about to blow.
It was also the perfect game to play on the couch with a friend in split screen, and it's responsible for some of my all-time favorite couch gaming memories. I'd play this for days and days and days with friends and never tire of it.
But what made rock and roll racing such fun to play was its well-crafted gameplay loop. This refers to the repetitive sequence of events in the game. You'd race, earn money, upgrade your car, race some more, and then eventually be able to afford the next vehicle to purchase. Then the loop would start all over again until you reach the final vehicle, the agile and deadly hovercraft.
Oh, Darren, I loved upgrading all the vehicles. And it was always hard going when you purchased your new car, because an upgraded older car was always better than a shiny brand new stock vehicle, for a time anyway. Sure, Mario Kart may have been the better game, but rock and roll racing was cool.
And so were the gamers who played it. There aren't many combat racing games about anymore, and certainly none that rock like rock and roll racing. Retro replay complete. Play us out, Bajo. Now it's time to answer all the viewer complaints. That's right, it's time for the return of Noob Watch.
I don't want to. I'm not going.
You have to, Goose. You have to. Welcome to Noob Watch, Spawnlings. Today I'm joined by Good Game Spawn Point hosts Hex and Goose, who have been accused of several acts of noobery. Hex, Goose, welcome to the show.
Oh, I hate Noob Watch, Darren.
Just so excited to be here, Darren.
Ah, that's the spirit. Now, as it's your last week in the hosting chair, Goose, I figured we needed to address some of these complaints we've received about you.
I don't think I like this at all, Darren.
So our first charge of noobery comes from Dorito King from American Brisbane, Queensland. I've got a noob offence that I picked up in the last episode. You said that a diamond pickaxe is essential for a nether portal. Well, there is another way without any pickaxe involved. All you need is 10 buckets of lava, a water bucket and dirt. Build a dirt frame and place lava inside, then build the nether portal layer by layer. I've tried it, and if you have speedrunned Minecraft before, you would know. Can everyone do this? I-A-M, not A. N-O-O-B. Doritos King out. Oh dear. Well, if that's true, then that will indeed be a noob cupping for both of you. What do you have to say for yourselves?
Well, your Dorito Highness. Crumbs. That is a very clever workaround, and I'll admit I've never actually thought or heard of that trick before. Although I would argue that you'd probably need a pickaxe to mine the iron to make the bucket, so you do need a pickaxe of some sort.
Ah, but you can find buckets in dungeon chests too, Goose. That's a yellow card for noobery.
Oh, come on!
Arguing with the noob judge is a yellow cardable offence, Goose. I'll only warn you once.
Well, Darren, to be fair, I don't think we did say what the spawnling says that we said. I think if we review the evidence, then it's going to be clear.
Okay, well, let's see for ourselves, shall we?
Do I have a choice?
Ah, negative. Roll the tape, Lee.
But as for what the best use of diamond is in Minecraft, well, it has many uses. Probably the first thing a lot of people will make out of it is a diamond pickaxe, since that's the only tool that can mine obsidian.
Yes, and obsidian is of course essential if you want to build a nether portal.
Well, upon reviewing the evidence, I find you both free from this charge of noobery. You merely said that a diamond pickaxe was the only tool that can mine obsidian, which is correct. And that obsidian is essential for building a nether portal, which is also correct. You never actually said that you needed a diamond pickaxe to make the portal, like the spawnling accused you of doing.
So, we're totally in the clear?
Oh, affirmative. Congratulations. Now, our next complaint comes from Jack in Brisbane, Queensland, who has this bone to pick with you.
I forgot there were more.
The other week, Goose was wrong. He said that you could only charge your life support in No Man's Sky with 3 minerals. But you can also charge your life support with a power canister. I believe the noob cup should be brought forward for Goose to savour the noob juice and beg for mercy. Ha ha! Ha!
I know I'm in the clear with that. I distinctly remember saying you could charge it with those minerals or items like power gel, and I'd say power canisters pretty much fall into the category of items like power gel.
Well, we're not going to take your word for it, Goose. We must review the evidence and see exactly what you said. Roll the tape, Lee.
But you do need to charge your life support system with either carbon, plutonium, or fermium-9. And you can also use items like power gel to charge it too. Haha, see?
Oh, excellent. Well, I do indeed find you free from noobery on this charge, Goose. So let's move on to our next accusation of the night, which comes from Human Chris 123, who is in Nerd World, Queensland.
This is quite easy, actually.
Yeah, we got this in the bag.
Silence! Hex needs to drink from the noob cup! Okay, hi guys. In your first ep for the year, in the LEGO Avengers review, Hex said, and I quote, "1 minute you are Iron Man fixing the helicarrier in Avengers Age of Ultron, next you are Captain America, etc. This info is incorrect! Iron Man does not fix the helicarrier in Avengers Age of Ultron, he does it in the first film, Avengers 1. Therefore, Hex is wrong, and I do believe she should drink from the noob cup. Thanks for reading. Oh. Sincerely, Human Chris 123. Love. Scandalous stuff, wouldn't you say, Hex?
Well, I mean, not really. I mean, so maybe I got a movie title wrong. Is that such a big deal?
So, you admit it?
Well, maybe. I don't really remember. That was all the way back at the start of the year, wasn't it?
Very well. Roll the tape, Lee.
It can be hard to follow LEGO's goofy retelling. 1 minute you're fixing the helicarrier in Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. The next you're ziplining to a train as Captain America.
Well, Hex, that seems like an open and shut case. You incorrectly attributed that scene to Avengers 2 Age of Ultron when it was in fact from the first Avengers. I must hereby sentence you to the Noob Cup.
Oh, man, but I'm a games reviewer. Am I supposed to know every scene from every film too?
Arguing will only make it worse, Hex. Now, drink.
Well, I don't want to. No.
Just do it. Get there and done with quickly.
Oh, it smells. Oh, why is it bubbling?
Is it okay?
Oh, excellent.
Oh, it's burning in the back of my throat. It's in my nose. It's in my nose.
Oh, doesn't it feel good to cleanse yourself of noobery? Oh, good stuff. Okay, moving on now to this from Fuse the Lava Creeper King, who is inside a volcano in Victoria.
Is it okay? It's done. It's done. Oh no, it's still there.
Goose is a noob! He said that to make an enchantment table, you need to have some obsidian, a book, and a diamond. You need 2 diamonds, not 1. It even showed it a second later when it showed the recipe. If Goose doesn't drink from the noob cup, I will send my army of lava creepers after all of you! Goose, what do you have to say for yourself?
I mean, well, I obviously meant 2 diamonds since, I showed 2 diamonds and I must have been thinking in my head some diamonds and I said a diamond. It's an easy mistake to make, right?
Oh, affirmative.
Yeah.
But a mistake is still a mistake. So I must hereby sentence you to
The noob cup?
the noob cup. Go on.
Okay, here goes. You know what? I think I've actually become used to it. It's worse than that.
Oh, it's the afterburn.
No, it's the afterburn.
It's the afterburn.
It was there. What is this?
smell it.
What is in this?
Oh, that's my mumbot's secret recipe. I'll never tell. But that's all the time we have for this edition of Noob Watch. If you have any complaints, or if you'd just like to send us a regular letter, you can send it in here.
Oh, it's coming back up.
Oh, are you gonna vomit? Are you gonna vomit?
I think it's coming
Goose,
back
you
up.
gonna vomit? Oh, you'll be right, Goose. All right, guys, now it's time to review Hue, the colourful puzzle platformer with a full spectrum of clever ideas.
Oh.
Guys, I'm excited. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. This game is awesome.
All right, calm down, Hex. Let us start at the beginning, shall we? Because this game also has a mysterious story.
Yes, that's right. Hugh's mother is a scientist who's created a very special ring that allows you to manipulate the perception of colour. But after a conflict with another scientist, Dr. Grey, the ring was destroyed. Hugh's mother is now trapped and invisible in some grey dimension. And it's up to you to find her.
Yes, and the only way to do this is by finding all the lost colours of the spectrum and rebuilding the ring. You start with blue.
The spectrum ring allows you to change the background colour of the environment, meaning anything that is the same colour in the foreground will disappear, allowing you to pass right through it.
This is the main puzzle mechanic of the game. It sounds simple, and it is when you're starting with just one colour. The game does a good job of introducing you to the ideas slowly, by drip feeding you colours that give you access to more complicated levels as you go.
But naturally, the more colours you have to deal with, the trickier things get. Juggling colours and trying to figure out how to move objects around in the environment to get you to the exit, well, that involves switching colours back and forth and back again.
Another element the game introduces is timing and quick thinking. When you activate the spectrum ring, time slows down, allowing you to select a colour mid-jump, for example. This means you often need to activate one colour, then quickly switch to another to make a platform appear beneath you in mid-air. There are nasty spikes and water traps to avoid too.
Lightning-fast reflexes are required even more as you gain more colours in the spectrum. And the game evolves more into races through crushing blocks and speedy platforming levels. You need to race through, changing colours on the fly, and it's super exciting.
It is, isn't it? I just thought the difficulty progression was spot on, and every time I had a new colour to play with, I was excited to see what new possibilities would open up.
Yeah, and what mind-bending puzzles would need to solve.
Not only that, but some of the colours are very similar, such as pink and purple. So when forced to make a quick decision, it can be really hard to choose the right shade. I've made a few crucial errors because of that.
Not me. Humans' ability to see colour is merely due to the way light reflects off certain objects. I, however, am able to compute specific colour shades by their digital code, so there's no possibility of error here.
Oh, well, that's all well and good for you, Darren. Meanwhile, we're busy narrowly avoiding spiky skull rocks and trying not to get squished.
I loved the way the story kept pulling you through the environment as well.
He started talking and I was surprised that he had read my work in the university journal.
Hugh's mother reveals more and more about her experiments through letters she's left for you to find throughout the world.
Yeah, every now and then you face some mysterious robed figure and I'm there thinking, is that the famed Dr. Gray? Some interdimensional beast? Will Hugh's mother ever be free?
And just whose obsession with the colour experiments really went too far?
Well, guys, I just thought this game was fantastic. I've played games that have experimented with colour before, but never like this. Hue is a truly unique concept and I was hooked from the start.
Yeah, me too. I really loved the simple art and design of the world, which allowed you to really focus on those colours. And while the puzzles started out simple, they got really tough towards the end. Which I really like. What are you going to give it, Hex?
Well, I'd recommend this for experienced gamers and new players alike because of that clever way it introduces those colour-themed puzzle ideas. And a mystery to boot, I'm giving it 5 out of 5, guys.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to give it 5 as well.
Double fives, double fives! It's time for double 5 fireworks!
All the colours!
Don't worry, it's safe.
It is? Oh, good.
Mostly.
All right, Darren, we're at the end of the show, so let's hear the answer to your challenge.
Affirmative. At the start of the show, I asked you this. In the very first Paper Mario game, how many star spirits has Bowser imprisoned? And the answer is 7!
I have fond memories of that game, and there's a new Paper Mario about to be released. Woohoo!
Well, next week on the show, we finally get our hands on the awesome racing action of Forza Horizon 3.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. The one set down under.
Oh, Dazza, I feel a road trip coming on, mate.
Oh, affirmative, Cobber.
All right, well, that's the show. Bajo will be back next week. So, Goose, I just wanted to say thank you so much for hosting the show with us over the last month or so. It's been really awesome having you here.
Oh, thanks, Hex, and thanks, Darren. It's been a lot of fun. But I won't be going far. Just over there, actually, where I do my gaming picks.
Well, Goose, we just wanted to give you a little something to say thanks.
Now, Darren?
Oh, affirmative.
Oh, guys, you didn't have to do anything. Oh my, it's beautiful! And it's even got a little goose on it. Oh, thank you, guys.
You've earned it.
Well, until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Darren out.
Goose out.
So you're going to share it with everyone,
Of
right?
course. Yeah, can we just look at it a little longer?
Yeah.